Hey, third graders. My name is Mr. Marshall. I'm the principal at Stony Lane. And I wanted to talk to you because this is a pretty exciting time in your life in school because you're in third grade now and you're really, really getting to use your writer's notebook for the first time. And so I wanted to tell you a little bit about it. A writer's notebook is something that's really special that real writers use, adult writers use. And I'm a writer too, and I use it too. And maybe like one day in another video, I'll show you parts of my writer's notebook. But I want to share with you this is a really important book for anyone that wants to use a writer's notebook. It's by an author named Ralph Fletcher. And maybe you've seen Ralph Fletcher's books. He's written picture books and he's written books for grown-ups. And this is a book he wrote called A Writer's Notebook. And I just want to read you a little bit about it because it'll help you know a little bit about how you might want to use your writer's notebook. Ready? Chapter 1 is called, What is a Writer's Notebook Anyway? Once, when I was a boy, a telephone repair truck pulled up in front of our house, and two workers got out. They had come to lay a telephone cable. My brothers and sisters and I watched them work hard for almost 3 hours, digging a long, narrow ditch in the backyard. Finally, when it was starting to get dark, they left the ditch and went home, promising to return and finish the job the next morning. So early the following morning, I went outside and looked into that empty ditch, but it wasn't empty at all. I was amazed to find all sorts of small animals caught in there. 4 toads, 2 frogs, even a small box turtle. They must have wandered into the ditch and gotten stuck there and been unable to climb back out. I let all the animals go. The 2 workers returned and finished laying the telephone cable and covered up the ditch. Can you see that happening? That got me thinking. The next day, I decided to dig my own ditch. I dug it at the edge of the woods and made it about a foot wide and 10 feet long and 8 inches deep. The next morning, I hurried outside and discovered that, yes, the same thing happened again. A number of small creatures had been caught in there. Well, a writer's notebook is like that ditch. An empty space you dig in your busy life, a space that will fill up with all sorts of little creatures. If you dig it, they will come. You'll be amazed at what you catch there. Writing is what I do for my job. I've written books for adults and books for young readers. I've published a novel and several books of poetry, short stories, and books for teachers on how to teach writing. In this book, I want to explore with you the most important tool that I use, my writer's notebook. Keeping a writer's notebook is one of the best ways I know of living a writing kind of life. Well, what is a writer's notebook anyway? Let's start by talking about what it's not. A writer's notebook is not a diary. Today it is raining. We have a substitute teacher named Miss Pampanella. She seems very nice. We're going to have gym right after lunch. It's not a reading journal in which your teacher tells you to summarize the main idea of a book that you're reading or write a letter to a character. A writer's notebook is different from any other journal that you ever kept before. You see, writers are pretty ordinary people. They have favorite songs, favorite movies, favorite TV shows. Writers have evil big sisters, and occasionally nice ones. They get good and not so good grades. They take vacations. They paint their houses. Writers are like other people, except for at least one important difference. Other people have daily thoughts and feelings. They notice this sky or that smell, but they don't do much about it. All those thoughts and feelings and sensations and opinions pass through them like the air that they breathe, but not writers. Writers react. And writers need a place to record those reactions. And that is what a writer's notebook is for. So this year, when you use a writer's notebook, yeah, sometimes your teacher will say, let's write a story today that's a personal narrative. Let's write, about things that we know a lot about. They might give you some guidelines on what to write, but your teachers are not going to really tell you what to write. They're not going to say today you're going to write you're not going to write about your family. It's not going to be like a prompt. It's going to be more like a suggestion of like what you might ways that you might get an idea for your writing. And in your writer's notebook, you might kind of play around with how you write it. And you're old enough now that you get to really do that. So, maybe we'll talk again another day and I'll show you my writer's notebook. And your teacher was probably showing you his or her writer's notebook. And it's a pretty cool thing. So I hope you get to enjoy it, and good luck with your writing.